barriers there with one of our sponsors, Team Karting and Driven Dreams, the docu-series that's following around about 12 of our drivers across all classes throughout this 2022 Junior and Cadet Kart Championship. You see Jack Collinson going off pole position this time with Cameron tipping alongside Ayrton Ryan, Thomas Potter on the second row, Harris Roberts and Alfie Forrester on row 3. 7th is George Ralston with Max Housego alongside Drew Davidson and Harris Alley complete the top 10. Freddie Lyons and Harry Samuel are on row 6. In row 7 then we see Ethan Charles alongside James Fabricius, Larry Price and Joshua Rowan share row 8. Jensen White is 17th with Maximus Lewis in 18. Then we've got Isabella Stansmore Wilson and Alex Lynn on row 10, Freddie Housego and Mason Webster row 11, Max Williams and Alex McCullough on row 12. 25th is Bobby Peake. We've got Max Gray-Trex and Scarlett Percox completing your runners. Everybody makes their way into position. Alfie Forrester there in the 79 rolling through into position. Drivers making sure the wheels behind them white lines, or at least on them. So we've got George Ralston in position. Harris Roberts, the championship leader, on the left there with the white nose behind Ayrton Rye. And then we've got your front row, Jack Collinson in the 90 on pole position. Everybody is nicely into position further back as they make their way round that paddock corner for the final few on their grid positions. Look up then at the gantry. Let's wait for the red lights to go out. We're away and racing. It's a good start from the outside of the front row from Cameron tipping. Ayrton Rye gets down the inside as well of Jack Collinson by the look of it. We'll see who's going to get round that first corner and that run up towards Spoon on the opening lap. Looks like Thomas Potter's made a good start. He's going to try and get to the inside with Collinson there as well. And Collinson, despite the fact that he got away slowly, has managed to hold on to the lead. And Cameron tipping in 3rd place, coming round the outside, but now Thomas Potter is down the inside of Jack Collinson. Through he goes then into the lead. The 20 machine leads from Collinson. Harris Roberts from 5th is up into 3rd place with Cameron tipping down in 4th. Ralston is 5th. Forrester with a good start up into 6th place there in the 79 kart coming down the hill. The white kart with the flashes of blue. So we'll get your top 10 as they come over the line for the first time. It's Potter leading the way from Collinson and Roberts, tipping Ralston, Forrester, Lyons, Fabricius, Alley and Davidson. Your top 10 as they then make the way up the hill, and looks like Collinson was trying to get alongside Thomas Potter. Keeps the door closed though because he's got Harris Roberts in the 45 right on the back of him as they head down the hill into the left-hander, and he's got to the inside of Jack Collinson and then nudges slightly wide, and through goes Harris Roberts, and Collinson could lose another place here to George Ralston. Ralston's going to try and carry to the inside, and Ralston is through as well. Collinson loses 2 places after the move into the carousel. Ralston is through. Cameron Tipping's right on the background. And let's see whether there's anything that Collinson can do, but the leading duo now, it's a straight fight for the lead between Potter and Roberts. Fabricius is right on the back of Alfie Forrester and moves to the inside. And he's going to try and slide through as they go up the hill, and he is past the 79 kart. Thomas Potter then leading the way from Harris Roberts. This is the corner that Roberts got past Collinson on the previous lap as they head then down the hill towards the carousel, the double apex left, and it's still Potter leading the way. Fabricius is now right on the back of this 4, which is led by Ralston with Collinson and Tipping in there as well. Tipping with the blue and pink helmet, and then Fabricius right on the back with the flashes of orange on that blue kart as he comes through, catches a huge amount of curb and almost gets alongside Cameron Tipping in the final corner. Is alongside him on the run up, and Harris Roberts is now leading the way from Thomas Potter. Has a gap of 0.4 of a second. There's catch them on the screen. So he's leading from Potter. Ralston in 3rd place with Cameron Tipping still trying to stick with this battle, but now Fabricius is through, having got alongside on that run up the hill towards the Spoon corner. as they make their way down the hill. Can Potter stick with Harris Roberts? And Roberts goes slightly wide into the devil's elbow, and that 0.4 of a second gap has been reeled in by Thomas Potter. Mistake by Harris Roberts. I think he cut too much curb on the inside, and now Potter is right in the slipstream of Harris Roberts as they head up the hill towards Spoon Corner. Potter electing not to go through on the early part of that, and now sticking with Harris Roberts round the top section, the leading two, moving away from the rest of the pack. Is there anything that Potter can do? Can he stick with Roberts? Roberts, who'd already opened up a gap of 0.4 of a second. Can Potter just stick with him as they make their way up, back up the hill into this right-hander before then dropping down once again? This was the corner as they come up to here, right there, that Roberts struggled on last time. It cost him almost 2 or 3 cart lengths and allowed Potter to close back up. Collinson is back up into 3rd place, getting past George Ralston. Ralston then down into 4th, Fabricius up into in 5th, and he's starting to move away now from Cameron Tipping, who's staying with them, and he's got a really big gap actually back to Harris Ali, and Thomas Potter is back through and into the lead. The green helmet leading the way. Ralston there tried to get into the back of Collinson. Collinson with a look over the shoulder. Ralston's going to dive to the inside. And that's going to have the door closed. That may well play into the hands of Fabricius, who's closed right in on the back of George Ralston. Ralston to the inside of Collinson. Fabricius comes down the inside of 1. Fabricius down the inside of 2. Has the door closed on him though by George Ralston. And Ralston is back up into 3rd place, but this time now it's going to have Fabricius battling away to try and get up into 3rd place. And Fabricius with a good run down the inside. Ralston runs on over the curbs on the outside. Can Fabricius close back in? A helmet tap from Fabricius. He knows that ideally he wants Collinson to push him along to go down the inside of Ralston, and then if Collinson puts his cart there, there's no way Ralston's going to get back in. Roberts still on the back of Potter as we focus on this battle for 3rd place, in which all of these drivers have actually been in 3rd place at some point during this race. Ralston though now is holding that position firmly from Fabricius, with Jack Collinson behind. He's dropped a few cart lengths off the back of this one, but as soon as Fabricius goes for an overtake, that's just going to play straight back into the hands of Collinson. Tipping is a comfortable 4th. They've almost got 4 seconds then back to Harris Ali, who's in 7th place, as Fabricius gets down the inside of Ralston, and Collinson will come through as well. I think down the inside, although Ralston has managed to close the door. They've come up to some lap traffic at the top of the hill. Potter then still leading the way from Harris Roberts as they head down the hill. More superb awareness there from Scarlett Percox in the 34 to move just to one side and allow everybody else to come through. Now it's Fabricius then up into 3rd. Ralston did manage to hold off Collinson, who thought he'd got alongside and thought he'd probably have enough of a run up the hill to take full advantage, but Ralston did enough to hold on to 4th place. Personal best from Harris Roberts, 49.053. So tries to close in on Thomas Potter. There he is at the top of the hill, right on the back of Potter. Less than a 10th between them, with 1 minute and 10 seconds remaining, as Fabricius is overtaken by George Ralston, who sweeps round the outside of him at the top of the hill. More overtakes in the background as they make their way up, but it's Ralston back up into 3rd place. Fabricius drops to 4. Still close enough though as they head towards the final lap to make moves in this one. There's Harris Ali and Ethan Charles, but they're losing around about a second a lap on this battle for 2nd place as they continue to battle it out over 7th and 8th respectively. Forrester running a superb 9th with Samuel in 10th. There's confirmation that Ralston is back up into 3rd place, as you see once again at the top of the hill. That's Potter and Roberts still nose to tail as they head towards the Spoon curve for what will be the penultimate time. The time will elapse and Roberts is going to get a good run out of that corner. Potter to the inside, parks the cart a cart width in, comes offline, then drops back out to try and maximise the run round this carousel corner for the penultimate time. Up the hill will Harris Roberts. I'm sure he's spent the last 5 laps behind Thomas Potter, feeling out where he can make an overtake on the final lap. What I would say is, I'm not sure that he needs to. Second place is going to be enough, I think, to put Harris Roberts on the front row for the final. So it's going to be interesting now whether he elects to try and make a move on Thomas Potter, who goes very defensive round the first corner, and then will white line it all the way up. Will he have scrubbed off too much speed, and will Harris Roberts have a chance to come down the inside? Round the outside Roberts goes, cuts back to the inside, then there's going to be run down the hill. Potter's going to park the cart to the inside. Will Roberts get the cut back as they make their way back up? There's that double apex right at the top of the hill. If you can get down the inside of the driver into the first one, or get the cut back there, Potter goes defensive into the corner, and Roberts has got alongside. He's thrown the dummy, and Thomas Potter's gone defensive and then opened the door in the second part of the corner, and Harris Roberts will come through on the final lap unless Potter can do anything into the final corner. Roberts goes wide over the curve but crosses the line to take victory in Heat 3, with Potter in second place. Fabricius beats Ralston on the final lap for third place. Ralston fourth, Collinson fifth with Tipping in sixth. Charles, Ali, White and Samuel complete the top 10.